My idea of a break is peace and quiet. Living in the middle of a big city, what I really miss is hearing the birds on the trees or the waves on the shore. The quieter the better, as far as I'm concerned. On the other hand, I also like being prepared a little. It's great to get away from the endless cooking and housework. Fabricius a bit different. What he likes is getting out, brisk, and early to do things. He loves windsurfing or climbing or exploring the local area. I prefer just getting up late, relaxing and doing nothing. But what we both love is going around in a big group of tourists like a herd of sheep. And for me, a crowd of tourists with their cameras just spoil the experience, even the most incredible places. Did you hear that story in the news about a guy who went missing in his canoe? Yeah, I saw something about that on the news, but I didn't really pay too much attention. What happened? Well, he went out in his canoe one day and he never come back. And then when his canoe was discovered on the beach a few weeks later, they declared he's dead. So anyway, now he is reappeared after 10 years missing. And they're saying that he faked his own death. Why would he do that? It was all an insurance fraud, apparently. Yeah, but how could he claim his insurance if he was supposed to be dead? His wife did it. After he was declared dead, he claimed his pension and life insurance. They got £500,000 out of it. And where was the guy all this time? Well, he spent 4 years hiding in a secret apartment in their house, and then went off to Brazil, and then she went off to Brazil to join him. So how were they caught in the end? It seems that they have lied about something out there in Brazil, and he decided to return to England, and he went into a police station and said he'd forgotten everything, had amnesia, couldn't remember the last 5 years. And didn't they believe him? Well, no, because then a photo was published in the papers, and it shows the couple smiling at the camera in Brazil. So that was it. And eventually, the whole story came out. Sounds like they were a bit stupid, having photos taken of themselves. Yeah, maybe. But I guess it's just too difficult to keep a secret like that forever. Too, if I were him, I'd want to get in touch with friends, let them know I'm still around. Yeah, exactly. And this guy had 2 daughters, and they thought he was dead. Really? Yeah, it must be hard to them. Helen, my driving test was horrible. I mean, I've been doing fine until I looked in the mirror and saw a police car coming behind me. That made me really nervous. You know what I mean? And I was looking in the mirror so much that I didn't notice a traffic light on red in front of me. So I had to put my foot really hard on brake in order to stop. Then, at the end of the test, when I was turning into the test center, I saw like bird, an injured bird on the road. And so I turned the steering wheel hard to the right and hit a post, a sign post or whatever, on the pavement. I mean, the car wasn't badly damaged or anything, but I failed the test. I don't know what happened to the bird. Nick, I didn't actually pass my driving test the first time. I think I was a bit unlucky, actually, because I done everything right, you know. I started on a hill, no problem. I done an emergency stop and all that stuff. And then the last thing was the instructor asked me to reserve around a corner, and I've been practicing this for months, you know, 'cause I knew this was part of the test, and I left and I felt confident about it. The thing is, I didn't notice that there was a line on the parked motorbikes around the corner, and I reserved into them, and I hit the first one, and then pulled over and hit the second one, and so on. And they all fell down like a row of dominoes. There were like 6 of them or something. The instructor stopped the test immediately, so obviously I failed. Megumi. I remember like the instructor on my driving test asked me to read the number plate of the gray Toyota. And I mean, it's like I don't know the names of cars or and stuff. Toyota, Ford, Volkswagen, it's all the same to me, and all cars are gray these days, you know. So I read the number plate of the wrong car, yeah, and it's a pity because my eyes are really good in fact. But anyway, I explained that to the instructor, and it was a bit embarrassing, but it was fine in the end. And I've been practicing a lot, so I had no problem with turning and stopping and all that. So I passed first time, so it was cool. Okay, well this song is called Fall on the Drinking World. The Drinking World was in fact the name of a well-known pattern of stars. And people used to use this pattern of stars to show them which way was north because the last two stars in the pattern point towards the North Star. So really, what the sun is saying is go north. Now, near the beginning of the song it talks about when the sun comes back and when the first quail calls. When the sun comes back means at the end of winter or the beginning of spring. When the sun starts to get higher in the sky, and this is also the time of year when you hear the first call of this bird, the quail. So what the sun is saying is start traveling in spring. Now, in order to understand this, you need to know something about geography. The slave escape route to the north was cut by a large river flowing from east to west, the Ohio River, and in order to cross the river the slaves had to wait till winter when the surface was frozen into solid ice, and they could walk across. Now, it took nearly a year for them to reach to the Ohio River from the cotton fields, so in order to reach the river when it was frozen, they would need to leave the previous spring. Okay, later in the song we see a reference to an old man and also to Leftfoot Pegfoot. This was a man who disagreed with slavery, so he used to help the slaves escape, and he was disabled. He only had one leg, and the other was a wooden leg. They called this man Peg Leg Joe. and he will show the slaves the way to go by putting a mark on dead trees. So that's why the song talks about the dead trees will show you the way. The song says that the river bank will show you the way. Now, this river is Tombigbee River, and it was a good route to follow because it flowed directly from north to south, and also it was good to walk beside a river because if the slave hunters came near with their dogs, the slaves would go in the water, so the dogs couldn't smell them. Later in the song, it says the river ends between two hills. So this is where the river Tombigbee ends, and the song tells escaped slaves to continue between the hills and then follow another river, the Tennessee River, in fact, and they will follow this river until they reach the Great River, which is the Ohio River, and then hopefully they, they will walk across the ice. Once they were on the other side, the journey was a lot safer because there was a secret organization there to help them, giving them food and shelter. This was called the Underground Railroad, and they would help the slaves to reach Canada.